Today is front coilover day. Finally got my ones in from rough country. Used a 303 to hit anything rubber or plastic on here, so it'll last a good long time and resist UV and rot. So these are pretty much ready to go in. Top nuts here, some instructions if you need them, some thread locker, and white lithium grease for inside of here. So today we're going to start with the front left and get that strut replaced first. I'm only going to film one side, guys, because it's pretty much the same both sides. It's going to take longer to film this and set up than it is actually to do the job. Everybody says this only takes about 20 to 30 minutes per side, and we'll have a look at that. Of course, before you do anything, this is the right side rear, double chalked with some heavy duty rubber chalk. You don't want it moving around on you. We're going to be jacking it up on just one side. That way the vehicle's still stabilized on the other tire. And that'll help us from when we're recompressing the strut spring to put it all back into place. And I got my little impact wrench there, and of course we'll have to go underneath, and I'm going to go ahead and pull the rock guards. Get those out of the way first. I had that little fill-in panel I made, plus the first one. And I'll double check while I'm under there if I need to pull the after one, because we're going to need to loosen up, not remove, just loosen up the alignment bolts. And before we do, we're going to have to mark the cams. And we'll show that and stuff. That way when you put it all back together, get it aligned after it's sitting back on the ground, at least it'll be in the ballpark, so you can get it down to an alignment center, which I'll be doing well, in another day or two. So I won't be really driving it until I can get the alignment done. But I will take it for a test drive around the block. So there's four sides. This is the lower control arm front. I put a couple orange dots on there. There's the rear of the forward lower control. Spinning back here, the same thing with here, and again on the other side. This is to help me line it up. Once we get it back on the ground under load, line it up and then tighten it up, and that should get me the ballpark to get me to the alignment center so they can do the perfect job. So that's the first thing you have to do. I'll get the other side marked too while I'm down here. So ready to put the jack stand in place. Get the jack all set to go ahead and start lifting this up. Just enough to get the tire off, and that should give me plenty of room to work on. Again, the lobes, they're all marked. And what you want to do, guys, you want to mark them on the ground, and when you're all done, you want to go ahead and lower the vehicle back on the ground, because it deforms the rubber that's in there that helps you align it. That way you can get pretty accurate that way. No binding and none of that stuff. And that'll get you safely to the alignment shop, and they'll be able to go ahead and finish it off. It looks like in the future I'm going to have to get taller jack stands. For now I just use some wood blocks. Again, guys, this isn't the safest thing in the world. It's not going anywhere, but I can't say I recommend it. Just definitely get taller jacks. But I just need to get one side up, and it's enough to get the tire off the ground. And I went ahead and removed the jack, and we have two chocks behind the rear. So this should be nice and steady, and should be able to get that pulled off. So here we go. Top nut's going to come off. Whole strut's going to pop out. We're never going to release the tension on the spring. This little bolt on the bottom is going to come out, and there's a couple nuts on the bottom of this that we can take off to allow this to sling down without taking all the rest of this stuff apart. And that's why we have to go ahead and loosen up the bolts on the lower control arms, and that way the bottom will swing away and it should pull right out, in theory. Nothing else needs to come off. Brake lines, what do you got, sway bar end links, none of that. God, I love my new brakes. Anyway, same thing, power stops, just gotta love them. So let's see here. First things first, let's go ahead and get those loosened up down there. I think they're 19s. And then we can go ahead and get the shock off at the bottom. Actually, not off, but we'll just go ahead and loosen it up. Then we'll go ahead and break these loose up here, and that way we can support the whole unit before doing anything back with the jack. Otherwise, we take those two bottom bolts out of this, it's going to want to push down because of the spring, because it's actually under load. So we'll loosen them up first, and then we'll get the jack under it, get these off of here, loosen that up, and then it should all come together. Alright, so this is underneath. It's not the way the mechanics would do it, but I'm actually going by what I've seen other guys do to make this a heck of a lot easier. So I used a 1/2 inch breaker bar. Just crack these loose. That's all I did. Didn't want to take them off yet, because I need to support the lower control arm first with the jack. Then I can take this out and slowly lower it so it releases the coil-over strut. So I have the pad, got the jack, And I'll go ahead and lift this up a bit. I'm going to move it over just a smidge. It's too close to a piece of metal there. There we go. That'll work. And that leaves us plenty of room to get those bolts out. So we just need to lift this up a little bit to add some pressure and compress the springs just a hair so we can actually use the jack to uncompress the coil, and it stays wrapped around the actual strut, and that way there's no chance of it coming loose and hitting anybody. So let's give this a go. Alright, seems to be pretty good right there. Let's go ahead and take those bolts off. And I know I don't have it compressed enough. I'll get rid of one bolt on this side, and then the other side, if I start to loosen that bolt up and it starts to push down pretty heavy, I know that I need some more jack pressure. Alright, so the first bolt's out. That big old fat one sitting right there. This one here I'm loosening up, and of course this isn't pushing down, so I know I got plenty of pressure on there. So we'll go ahead and take this one out of here, and then we're going to go ahead up on top and take those bolts out. All I'm going to do is crack this one loose, and at the same time that should allow this to swing down using the jack, so there's nobody getting harmed with the spring flying out all over the place. So down here you just loosen it. You don't have to make it real loose, you don't have to take the nut off, just loosen it up. The same with the front, just get it nice and loose, and that way this can just swing down as we undo all this. So down here, the bolt that holds the bottom of the strut in, the nut is off. We'll be able to slide that out eventually. Up here, started taking these off. They can be kind of a bear. It's not a bad idea to have something that, unless you want to mangle your tools. I use kind of one of these little deals here. Give it a couple whacks just to get those broke loose. So now I can go ahead and take those nuts off. That's going to free the tower up here. And then, as I lower the jack, this whole thing should start to come down as far as the A-arm. Take all the pressure off of this, and then we just pretty much do it in reverse to put it all back together again. Of course, I'll be using some Loctite on the threads. Down here, the bolt where it actually goes through the shock, I'm going to have some lithium grease in there. Up here, the nuts actually have, not these were junk, but the new nuts actually have like a locking feature. These are just plain old nuts here. The new ones have kind of a locking feature that will actually dig into the metal and hold everything in place, which is what these are here. Again, this is the spacer, and that's the nuts that came with this kit here. These are the original ones that have those teeth that dig in. So we'll go ahead and take this off. The center bolt there, right here, don't even mess with this. That has to do with the inside of this, which we're not going to mess with. It says this is coming out in one unit, the new one is coming in as one unit. So it's just 1, 2, and 3 in the back. They come off, and that's loose. And now the fun part, we're going to go ahead and lower the jack and see how that works for us. Now the trick is to be really gentle on this. In case you see something wrong, you can actually stop your jack. So let me crank this loose. There we go. The vehicle's coming down to sit on the jack stand. Again, we put some good pressure on that. Alright, so once this swings down, this pops out. Got my favorite, you can see that's all loose. The spring's not exploding anywhere. So we just need to take our time working around everything and get this out of here. And we should be ready to get the other one in. Alright, so we can see, here's the old one. Spring is actually a good size, however, it did start to sag, so I'm sure these are starting to get weak. Okay, everything's lining up. A little bit more than 2-inch spacer is made up with an extra spring here. It's a little bit taller than the original, but at least I won't have this darn thing, and it actually gives me more room to play as far as travel goes. So this one here, I am going to take the spacers off. Who knows, there might be somebody that could use them. So I'll take these off and clean them up, put them up in the attic in case somebody wants them. But now we can go ahead and get this one fit. And we'll get it up in here first. Then we'll add some lithium grease in here. And we'll get the bottom in place. So again, I'd be done probably half an hour ago if it wasn't for filming. Battery's going bad, running around getting a battery. That was dead. So the tops are just finger tight, enough to hold it in place. Also, there's a 3-bolt pattern, so just make sure that you're lined up with the bracket down here so you have this in the right way. And then from here, we're just going to swing out that bottom, get a bolt through, get some lithium grease in there, get the nut started. Then we're going to use the jack to go ahead and compress it so I can put the 2 bolts back in. And then we can torque everything to specs, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to put the bolt in, put it in from the back so that the nut is in the front, so you can get a really easy access to a torque wrench on that nut to get the proper torque specs. Again, I added some lithium grease to the smooth part of the bolt. Then we got some Loctite on there. Coming up here, again, those are finger tight for now. So I'm going to go ahead and get a nut on there so nothing moves. And then we're going to use the jack to go ahead and compress the spring so I can start those 2 main bolts down there. Again, with some Loctite on there. Then I'm just going to, not even snug, a little bit before snug those nuts down there, so that when I lower the vehicle and it sits on the actual tires, so the bushings inside there are under load, I'll be able to get a more accurate setting along with the torque rating. So let's go ahead and get the nut on there. One thing I forgot to mention, put a little Loctite inside these nuts on top of the tower there. We got some on that bolt down there and just snugged it. And that way, once you torque these down, there's no way they're going to vibrate loose. Go ahead and snug these down. Just keep alternating from one nut to the other, because you're also sinking the posts that are in there, pressed in there and stuff, so they have to seat. So you want to go ahead and get one down a little bit tight, the other one, and then just keep flipping around and stuff, kind of like your tires. So, and then later on, that way everything is seated, everything is even. We can go ahead and torque them down along with these bolts here, and the bolts that are going to be in the bottom, and then that should be it. So the fun part now is to use the jack to go ahead and close the gap so I can get those 2 bottom bolts in. A little bit more, then I'll make sure it's lined up. We'll get the bolts started, get them kind of snug, then I can get rid of the jack and we can go ahead and torque everything down. And you can see how that's basically moved. And again, that's because it's in the air, nothing's lined up. We need to be weight on wheels, and then we can get more accurate rating. We can even go ahead and twist those lobes to make sure that they're pretty much lined up, so that way it'll be safer when we're on our way to the shop for alignment. So that looks pretty good. That should be enough to get the bolts in and get them started. Went ahead and hand started it, and then I can use the electric impact wrench to go ahead and snug it, and then we're going to go ahead and torque these things. So the biggest thing is going to be cool. This was about 1.5 inches lower on this side compared to the back, and we'll see when I put these up if it brought back the height with the new springs. And it's kind of an exciting thing. The other side is going to be a piece of cake, so I don't have to run and get batteries and keep filming this and stuff. So let me go ahead and get the impact wrench. All right. Okay, again, that's just to snug it up, and I can go ahead and lower this jack and put the weight on the actual jack stand, and then we can actually do some torquing here. I'll give you guys the torque specs. Again, they're the torque specs I was able to find, and go ahead and consult your manual for the proper torque specs. But that's pretty much it. We'll put the tire on, we'll lower this one down, and we'll do a measurement from the ground to the wheel well and see how it compares with the rear. Okay, again, everything's snug for now. We're going to do some torquing here. 3 bolts up there, 1 there, and then the 2 down at the bottom. My hands were all over the place, so I had some fingerprints on here, which means grease and oil. And just double check your rotors, guys, before you go ahead and button it up. Make sure they're nice and clean. That way your brakes work properly. They move quite a bit. Let's see what that looks like after I get the wheel on and we lower it. We're going to make sure that both are done. The wheels are on. The truck is on its under its own load, its own weight. And then we'll go ahead and readjust those cams, tighten those up. And again, that should get us pretty darn close. Head locker, 118 foot-pounds. Got a socket and a wrench, and again, this is 19 millimeter. Just need to hold it back with a wrench, and we'll tighten that up to 70 foot-pounds. Okay, there's no way to really get a wrench in there. You don't want to tear up that boot, so this little deal here works pretty good. Torque wrench on the nut, and just a 1/2 inch drive with another 19 millimeter on the other side holding the bolt still. So we'll give that a torque. Top torque specs for these 3 here, 47 foot-pounds. And we'll go ahead and crank those down. Now the one on the back, I'm not sure if I can get a socket on. If I can't, I'm going to use the old crow's foot here. And if you do, you're actually extending. Alright, so when these things are designed, it goes from this ring to the middle of this to give you an accurate torque reading. Well, if you go ahead and put a crow's foot on there, it's going to actually move the center point out a little bit. So instead of 47, you're going to want to reduce it to about 45. That way you get more accurate torque setting. But for the front two, that should be a piece of cake. Okay, I'll talk about the torque specs later on the alignment lobes once we get it on the ground. Again, down at the bottom of the here, we get those torqued up at 118.70 for the nut on the bottom of the strut, and up here 47. I had to use the crow's foot on all three, so I torqued them to 45 foot-pounds, and we have Loctite on there, so that's not going anywhere. Let's get the tire on and lower this side down, and let's see what kind of measurement we get from the ground to right here. Let's see if we got some of our height back. Man, I am so happy, I can't believe it. Look at that height. It was drooping down the nose before. Let's go ahead and check some measurements. So the rear, from the ground up through the center of the tire to the well, is about 39. The front tire, this used to be 37. Boy, it sure would be nice if it was close to 39. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. It's exactly the same as the back. Okay, it's off by 1/8 of an inch. I can live with that. So I got my 2 inches back. And this is going to be awesome. So now I can get the other side done pretty quick, not having to film. But I will take you guys back under the vehicle and we'll talk about adjusting those cams and torquing those down. And then I get to go ahead and take it for a ride, which means tomorrow is a motorcycle day. Yes! So everything's all torqued. You can see how this is moved. And I've got the crescent wrench to end all crescent wrenches. That's going to go ahead and adjust this inner nut, which goes ahead and adjust this to get it even again. Alright, that's the same there too. So basically you need to adjust these things and then torque them down. It's 129 foot-pounds on these things. So let's go ahead and see how that works. I got 4 of these to do. Back here doesn't look too bad. I'll have to double check. But this front one really got all wonky. So let's go ahead and get that sorted out. So they're installed. All spring, no more spacer. Brand new shocks inside the coils. And the biggest and best thing is the fact that from the ground to right here is 38.5 inches on both wheels, versus this used to be 2 inches lower because it was sagging. Do I like rough country? Sure do. They give you all the benefits without making you pay for the advertisement and the bloated price. And my other stuff lasted 15 years, so I was pretty happy with that. Anyway guys, that's how you replace the front coilovers. Really a piece of cake. Got to get it aligned on Monday anyway, so that's it. Let's get this on YouTube.